Chamber of the Frozen Blades.
Oh, that's this episode. That is the episode that we're talking on today's Adventure Time, never-ending adventure, the Adventure Time podcast,
And
the only one you want.
This is DJ Nettie P.
This is Russell Tyndall.
And
I'm back. Well, we're both back
no,
again.
that's Babyface.
Another episode. I'm Babyface.
That's like the most consistent voice you can do.
It's like the only voice I can do. Well, dang it, I can't do it.
No,
I was gonna go.
don't even start.
I'm back. My name's Ted. Remember me?
Yeah, the Rainicorn voice.
No, this is old man. I'm just an old man.
Well,
good episode. I effing love ninjas.
Yeah, I was about to say
get out of here, old man. What's
you're
up,
gonna
man?
have
I'm back.
fun with the Naruto references in this episode.
Oh,
aren't you?
I'm gonna have so much fun.
I know you probably have so many notes on that.
I got a couple. We got a Zabuza note. We got a Shadowclone Jutsu note. We got some other notes. I don't know. We got notes.
All
notes
the
for
notes.
days. Ninja manuals.
Give me your overall. We were talking before we started recording, and you're just like, "This is just a great episode."
It is a great freaking episode. I mean, who doesn't like ninjas?
No,
But it starts off so slow. Honestly, this episode for me, I was the first 5 minutes of it. I was like, but until they break into the secret sanctum, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like this episode. I mean, cool little ninja references. Flambeau's back, which shout out our little
Flambeau,
our New York City mobster.
New York City
friend.
mobster.
Yeah, he's got the dirt on ice.
Got the Flambeau. Got the dirt on him.
Yeah, which is
I
great.
can't do that.
You know he's on the level. Come on, you know he's on the level.
Yeah, he's such a little quirky character for sure.
But it's a great episode. It was weird. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, and then they really dove into the ninja powers. It just really, it was great. And even the Ice King, like the A and the B story, which end up coming together at the end, like were both really good.
Yeah, it's two good stories that came together. Again, it broke that kind of repetitive style that we said ended season 1, where it was like, oh, the introduction of the quest, step 1, step 2, step 3, resolution. And this is a cool break from that whole kind of scripted, like, intro to the story, 3 steps, done. And I love, it's like the bringing A and B stories together, which is really cool.
Well, in last episode, we got a little character development with LSP, which was great. And then we get some more cool little character development. I don't even know if it's character development, but we get one of the best characters, Gunter, is a woman.
Is Preggers.
It is Predators. He has a baby, and it's a floating cat thing with a heart on its head.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to talk about this with you just without spoilers, but
if he's the big evil one, I could only imagine.
Yeah. This is like the second reference to something is different about Gunter. So
he's amazing. That's what's different about him.
It's we can kick it off early. Lovelies of the episode.
Is it really? Is that your lovely?
No, I was going to ask you because you were hyping him up, and I was like, I wonder if Gunter is the lovely of the episode.
He's not my lovely. I love Gunter. I think I'm really afraid now that one day I'm gonna be disappointed by Gunter. I think he's. Let's do a Naruto reference, and this is spoilers for Naruto Shippuden. So anyone that is a Naruto,
I think a
fan,
show that old doesn't need spoiler introductions. I'm sure
it's so good. If you haven't seen it, go watch Shippuden. I honestly like it more than One Piece, but that's just me. That might be controversial, but he reminds me of Toby when Toby is this masked figure in the Akatsuki that you don't know whether, he's bad because he's a part of the Akatsuki, which is like the big bad organization. But he's like goofy and quirky and silly, and he's just like playing around, but like no one can hit him, and it's like, why can't anybody hit this guy? And lo and behold, there's a lot. I don't want to spoil it. Even if you're like, oh, I don't care. There's a lot more to Toby than meets the eye when you first see him. And he's got such a cool mask. And you see that he's got the Sharingan, but there's just so much to him. And I just love the Toby phase of that character. After the Toby phase, he's still great. He honestly has some really great moments and a really cool reveal. But Toby is so good, and that reminds me of Gunter. And I'm so afraid that Gunter is going to have that second phase where he becomes, big bag. Penguin Gunter.
Just wait.
Boy.
It's a good little string of episodes there coming up in the future. So
my lovely is action figure Jake.
Action figure Jake.
Yep.
I love it. I was gonna say that was my tops of the episode. Was
Yeah. It's so cool. It's like, I mean, you can buy an action figure Jake, but just I guess the concept of like Jake just holding still and letting
Letting
Finn play
Finn-
with him a little bit, it's like it's great. And he's not a doll; he's an action figure.
Action
And
figure
I'm
Jake.
sticking by that.
Sticking by that. My lovely would just have to be Dr. Princess.
Dr. Princess.
I
Yeah,
know. Well, one just
she's
because
not a princess.
she's like the only one in this universe that seems to be any bit normal. Like
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
bit normal. You
So
can't.
what am I
not
looking
like
at
her.
here?
Yeah. She's got her hand, like she's been kidnapped, and then she's just got her hands in her pockets while they're ninja fighting in front of her. She's like, "So, how's your egg doing?" Very
Yeah.
calming voice. She's got little freckles on her face.
Is she qualified to be a doctor though? She's like,
No,
she
she
something medical is happening.
yeah, maybe that's the minimum, like the minimum requirement it takes to be a doctor in OO.
But
She hooks Gunter up to. Did you see his little IV? Had like a little. It was like a little fish
Mhm,
IV, and
mhm.
it's going. So she knows how to take care of little.
Well, I don't
tuxedo
know.
People.
She's like squeezing the whatever
She puts the
thing into his face.
the stethoscope right
Stethoscope.
into his face.
Wah, 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 wah. It's like, I don't know if that's really technically how you're supposed to do that. But like you said, she does specialize in treating little tuxedo people. And that was my favorite line of the whole
Yeah,
episode.
I was gonna say that's the tops of the episode for sure.
That line is amazing. And
Well-
she works at the Rock Hospital. Well, it wasn't a rock.
It was a Rock Kingdom episode.
It was a
where-
rock.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't a rock. It was Rock Doctor.
Right.
Sorry.
Well-
me and Allie got a really good kick. We paused it and
She's a rock doctor.
we joked about that for quite a while. That little
That's amazing, though.
B-52's reference. Rock Doctor. I don't know. I love it.
But-
It's so good.
Oh, I wanted to. And one last thing about Dr. Princess too that I didn't learn until later on in Adventure Time, and it bugged me out because they never mentioned anything about it in the show at all. You had to go do research on this a while back. That you see this little pink guy
I saw that
in her pocket. You wouldn't think anything about it now. Maybe it's just the thing.
Well, in the treehouse, when the cooler fell over, we had another little figure fall, but they
Yeah,
weren't the
well,
same. I
I
don't
can't.
think.
I don't know how long it is after this, but there's an episode where Princess Bubblegum is wearing a like lab coat, and whenever she wears her lab coat, she's got a little pink thing in like the frocket. And I was like, okay, this is like coming up over and over again, and those things are apparently not necessarily parasitic, but they feed on like knowledge and smart characters. So there are these like little pink characters in the little lab coat pockets, and they're almost like parasite feeding on like super smart people. Isn't that interesting?
Do they bring anything to the table? Is
I don't think so.
parasitical relationship, or is there?
Maybe, yeah, like maybe more of like a symbiotic relationship.
that's what
I
I'm
guess.
wondering.
Yeah.
That's so fascinating.
We'll dig into that more
Yeah.
as we see it come up repeatedly. But now I wanted to drop that in there. One, because that means that Dr. Princess is really smart.
Mhm.
And two, keep looking for it whenever anybody's in a lab coat.
Yeah. Well, I really did like Dr. Princess. She was great. I don't know why she's green, but she was great.
Yeah.
Ned, I think the big question for this episode
Big
for me
question.
is, are ninjas cool? I think that's the over-encompassing question for this episode. Are ninjas cool?
I think ninjas are cool, but you got to be all in or not all in.
Yeah, I think
know?
that's very much what Finn and Jake. That's their approach. It's like, well, we wear it on our sleeve, and he's hiding his ninja, and that's lame.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because this episode has a very it's the classic question: are swords cool? Yes, swords are cool, right? But are people who own swords cool? I don't know.
Well, own it on your, and that was one of my lessons, more in a funny sense, but when you bring it up like that too, it's a good point to bring up that like when someone likes Adventure Time, and it may seem odd or childish or nerdy to some other people, but you wear it on your sleeve and are confident about it, it then in turn seems a little bit more palatable for someone who isn't,
Yeah, I think so. I think as long as
you're not shoving it down their throat.
Yeah, there
or
you go.
anything,
Yeah, and if that's if you're on a first date and all you're talking about is that thing that you're super crazy passionate about, like
There's not going to be a
hint at a
second date.
passion, yeah, but you might not get a second date out of that unless your passion relates to that person's passion, which
Yeah,
there you go, dream situation right there,
yeah,
in a sense. But yeah, man, I don't know. Great episode. We got to see Ice King's obsession with Italian food for some reason.
yeah.
I don't know what's up with
Pizza
that.
and spaghetti every in the hamper.
Mhm.
I mean, I just do appreciate them bringing that up to really drive home Ice King's bachelorness and his inability. Like the last thing that you want to bring a date home and they find that you've got pizza and dirty spaghetti all over your apartment. So they're really driving home like it's not just like it's a lot of things about Ice King why he can't land
Yeah,
a
and
girlfriend.
well, apparently the penguins smell terrible, and he's just like, "Oh, you'll kind of get used to it in a sense." Like,
Yeah,
he's like, "It's really not that bad once you get used to how bad the penguins smell." Which do penguins smell that bad?
I would
I
assume
wonder.
so. They're birds and birds just shit everywhere. So
Yeah,
I
and they
would
can't
assume
fly, so they're pooping and they're just
walking through
squaddling.
it. Yeah, yeah. I imagine it's not pleasant.
But dude, penguins slide on their tummies. It's so cute. I love me.
I love it.
I love me some little tuxedo people.
Well, I did want to go ahead as we're talking about the story of this episode. I was watching it again today and thought the same thing as you. I was like, man, for a 11-minute long episode, it does really kind of move slow, bouncing between the stories. But the Finn and Jake part really does move slow. They're kind of there. They're kind of just walking around. They're kind of goofing off, playing ninja and hiding and then waiting. And I realized something, and this is a stretch, but that's what we do on this show is we pull unnecessary things out of it. But we look at Finn and they were wanting to be true ninjas, right? When they break into Ice King's house and Jake is just rampaging all over the place. He's breaking stuff. He's wants to snoop on the diary. He wants to not hide and be secretive.
Yeah. It's
Um,
very much the Naruto ninja philosophy of just like, oh yeah, we wear bright clothes and we're out in the open, like that's
yeah.
not how ninjas work.
And that's not how ninjas work. And then, Jake goes to the computer and starts snooping through Ice King's computer. And Finn's like, our number one ninja rule is like, don't be seen, like, be stealthy and everything like that. And as he continues to realize that, like, Ice King's a ninja, they get into the secret sanctum. Jake's still touching stuff. And then Finn finally pretty much caves against his number one ninja rule, which was
his Nindo.
his Nindo. Yeah. Like,
bring that back.
is that like, it's, I
Well,
don't
he
know.
was
It just upsets me that like, it's one of those things that we saw, like, for the greater good, Finn turns against what he, like, something was uncharacteristic of himself, So he's
I
like,
think he gets, swollen by how awesome ninja powers are and the ability to get more and to learn and
Mhm.
grow in his ninja ways, I get it, he just got passionate about it and his desire to be stealthy went out the window when he goes, "Oh crap, this is an opportunity to be more ninja."
yeah, but
Got
they're
to do
trying
whatever you can.
they're trying to be good, and Finn's whole thing is like, I want to be a good adventurer and not be wrongshus, like we said before.
Well,
And by the end of them learning all the ninja moves, they've like destroyed Ice King's house, and
yeah.
so it's like Finn drops his guard down, and all of a sudden his morals are out the window.
Well, I got a good reference. I mean, so in Avatar: The Last Airbender, you have an episode where they're on a pirate ship and they find a stolen water tribe, scroll for waterbending,
Mhm.
and Katara and Aang are so like morally good. They're like, "Oh, this is great, but we don't have money to buy it." And they tried to buy it, but I think they just didn't have enough money or whatever. But then they leave the ship, and I think it's Aang is like, "Let's go, 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 go. We got it. We got to get moving." And they're like, "Why? What are you talking about?" And he stole, or maybe it was Katara. I'm sorry if I'm getting that mixed up, but they stole the scroll.
Mhm.
And it's that same thing of like they got ice water. I mean, they were so obsessed with the desire for growth in their skills, the greater good of, well, I mean, Aang's got to freaking
Yeah,
master all
the
of the
big
things.
picture greater good. They
Yeah,
think,
this is going to help us, later
better,
on,
yeah.
but in order to do it, they had to justify, well, it was stolen. it's okay if we steal it as well, in their head. And is that right? Is that wrong? It's probably wrong, but at the same time, pirates, I don't know, whatever. But I love that. Like it kind of reminds me of that episode a
Yeah.
little bit, and Finn goes off his path a little bit. His like, I'm a good guy for the greater. Well, not really the greater good. I'm sure he doesn't even have these powers after this episode. That's what pisses me off.
Yeah, fun fact about this episode, and kind of disappointing, was that when asked whether Finn and Jake would use the Ice Ninja powers in future episodes, the writer Adam Muda responded, "Not likely. They didn't have enough time to commit to the incantations and hand positions to memory."
Okay.
So they pretty much, it's like getting good at something for like a day and not
Not
practicing it ever,
yeah.
and so they just forget. And I would assume that was similar to kind of the Wizards episode as well,
But if you have the it thing, if you have something that like, this is awesome, this is amazing, this is gonna help me so much, why would they not? Like, I get that he's young and he's easily distractible, but like, I also little kids are so passionate. That's what's beautiful about like when you are young, you have so much more time than you think you do, and you are so much more passionate about the things. And if you're lucky enough to have spent that time not playing RuneScape all day every day, like I did, then you could be really amazing. That's why you have like child prodigy guitar players or pianists or whatever. Like they spend all their time doing this thing that they're obsessed with, and it's all that matters to them is
Yeah, but
that thing.
but
Like Finn could do that.
Finn's pretty ADD though, because like, what if tomorrow they went to a dragon stable and he was like, "Oh, that's so cool! I love dragons. I'm going to be a dragon wrangler."
Well,
He's being fed all this stuff from out of a fire hose.
I know,
Like,
but
you
ice
know,
is super effective against dragon and Pokemon, so I think he should have committed all that to memory. I'm just saying. I don't
doesn't
know.
bode well in the Fire Kingdom though.
No, I guess not. But yeah, and honestly, the dragons all suck anyways. So
Yeah.
I have yet to find a dragon in Adventure Time that I actually think is really cool looking.
Yeah, they are all going to stay the same,
Damn it.
unfortunately.
That sucks. Well,
But
that's
that was
okay.
that was kind of like, it's a bummer that they don't use the powers more. But that leads into my Jake mistake of the episode.
Making big pancakes.
And it's semi a mistake, but kind of semi, Jake can do a lot of this stuff already with his own, like, it's not ice, but like when a lot of his powers,
that's true.
he puts a nunchuck around his fist, and I'm like, he can turn his fist into a nunchuck already. So like, it's kind of funny.
It's like, what's the point?
It's kind of like, what's the point?
Yeah.
So like, that's probably why Jake definitely is like, I kind of
whatever.
already got about
Yeah.
it. And like when he, like, my favorite, and I'll ask you what your favorite spell was, but mine was the thin ice, thin ice, thin ice, thin ice, and he goes,
Thin ice
like,
is so sick.
and that was a cool one. And
Yeah.
then, but I'm like, oh, he can pretty much like shrink or do any of that already.
He totally
know?
could have already done that. But yeah, well, Finn gets what is it, Snowblind, which is pretty sick. Where
Snowblind was cool.
that's his like disappearing jutsu or whatever. Honestly, when Finn uses the force of a blizzard, that's where like my mind was just blown. That's where like their their battle of ninja powers really took off, and I had a couple moments in a row where I was like, "Oh shoot!" Like audibly was excited about he has a blizzard power, and then all of a sudden Jake jumps in and he does a shadow clone jutsu, and there are 3 of them, and Finn's just like, "Oh, that's one too many," But
Yeah.
he does the little shuriken jutsu, and all of them are clones, and then Jake's behind him, and I was just like, "Oh, that's so sick," Like that was a great little exchange back. And then Finn, the final thing is Finn catches an arrow, which is like, the whole like
The ultimate, like, yeah.
well, supposedly ninjas could catch arrows out of thin air, but I think it's been proven by the Mythbusters that you can't
can't.
actually do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I gotta say, I think the blizzard, it's not the coolest power, but just because it was the moment in the episode for me where I was like, oh, ice powers are sick.
Yeah.
I was like, that's probably gonna be my favorite ice power.
Well, there was probably a lot of untapped ice powers. I did find that there was a list of like the spells out there.
Oh, cool.
And I'm scrolling through my notes here. There was one that was not listed, or no, excuse me, it was listed in this like the skills in the book, but aren't used. And one was called Snow Style Hidden in the Ground. and it makes Finn melt down to the ground to move around, seeing the enemy and then jumping up with spikes.
Oh, cool.
And I was like,
cool.
that would have been my favorite power had they used it.
That feels very Naruto. I mean, honestly, my tops of the episode was just all the ninja ice powers. A lot of them kind of echoed Haku from Naruto, which that's my Zabuza reverence. Really, it's a Haku reverence, but Haku is Zabuza's like student essentially. But they're ice ninja from the land of water. And I guess he works for Zabuza. I don't know, but it's like the first bad guy in the original Naruto series, like when they're little kids. You know, it's like the first like, oh crap, this like D-rank mission ended up being so much like they were just taking a bridge boater from one place to another place, and it shouldn't have been anything that like new shinobis needed to handle. That it's going to be too tough, and then freaking this crazy bad guy comes in and almost kills him. You know, and it's like the first time you really have high stakes in Naruto. So, you know, I don't know if it's a direct reference to Haku with some of those powers or Zabuza, but I really love that. I thought that was just super cool. And actually, did you do factoids for this?
Yeah, I actually have.
Isn't there a headband somewhere?
Yeah, the headband is actually the symbol from Naruto. So
Okay.
I think that was
So
for
probably
sure
then.
the author's like nod to Naruto alongside of everything else. A couple other one, the hand signals that both Finn and Jake use are references to the hand seals from Naruto, used to channel the chakra and the different jutsus.
Yeah.
Or elemental attacks. Yeah, like you said, the shadow clone is a reference to Naruto as well, and then the entire concept of what this is called in adventure time, Frijitsu.
Yeah.
It's like frigid jujitsu.
Oh, that's so cool.
Which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah, dude, I dig it, man.
And then actually a really bizarre one out of nowhere. When you mentioned, you know, like he's got the shadow clones and he goes, that's one too many. They said it's likely a reference to a movie from 1990 called The Two Jakes, which is a Jack Nicholson directed and starred in sequel to the movie Chinatown.
Yeah, which we've all seen, right?
Yeah, right. I read into it. It sounds like it's kind of like a cop drama gone bad, but it's like a detective and he accidentally sends a hitman somewhere and a fiance's husband dies, but there's two Jakes in that. And so they said it was a nod to that. And
64 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe the two Jakes will be our special.
Maybe that's our next special.
It won't be, I promise. It will not be.
A fun part of the, what do we call it, the Secret Sanctum that I missed until I did my research is he's got a poster.
I love the posters.
Deadly pressure points, and then shows a diagram of a penguin's anatomy.
So that's actually my theoretically speaking. The deadly pressure points poster, which at first you look at it goes deadly, and it looks like a picture. It's a penguin, a Gunter, and I'm like, holy crap! Like Ice King knows a way to kill Gunter, or no, sorry, my first thought was Gunter King is like deadly, super deadly. This penguin, so like Ice King is whatever, but really,
then you realize it was a pressure point.
So this is how Ice King, in my mind, keeps Gunter subdued.
That's a good. Oh man, that's my favorite theoretically speaking you've done in a while.
Yeah, by over analyzing Gunter through experiments or just by discovery, he's figured out what Gunter's weaknesses are. And so therefore Gunter has no choice but to go along with his shenanigans. So Gunter knows that Ice King knows all his secret pressure points that could kill him at any moment. And only Ice King knows this. And that's why Gunter just kind of like, yeah, you can put your feet up on me. I'll be your table or sure, carry me upside down and take me to a hospital. Like, you know, that is their relationship. Theoretically speaking,
all the penguins. Like when you do like realizes there's multiple penguins.
Wait, are there multiple bad penguins?
Yeah, I mean he's got multiple.
Are they all
penguins? Bad? No.
Oh, okay.
There is one true Gunter. I think he ends up calling
one
them.
True Gunter.
Yeah, like this was like the one true Gunter.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying like maybe our Gunter is not the real. Is this like multiverse?
No, it's not a multiverse theory.
Okay,
no,
Rick and Morty.
That would get way too out of hand for sure. We're already dealing with post-apocalyptic futures of our world. We don't need There is. We'll get into that later. This is not multiverse theory. Adventure Time handles multiverse a little bit differently than like a Marvel would, but similarly.
Well, my sexy character for this episode is the Bikini Assassin.
Bikini Assassin.
Did you see that poster?
Yeah, that poster is a great one.
Oh man, I need that movie. There are 2 movies I need from this. I need Bikini Assassin because it just sounds amazing. And then I need the 5 Knuckle Romance because
The 5 Knuckle Romance.
oh man, they're like stabbing each other through their chests. They have each other's hearts. Like, oh man, I need these movies. Both of those sound so good. Bikini Assassin.
Let's just talk about the difference, man, between, because that's all the posters were in his secret sanctum. His whole house is like trashed, weird bachelor pad. In the secret sanctum is like
a bat lair. It's
like got
amazing.
TVs and like kunai everywhere. And like I was like, dude, if you could make a room this night, just make your normal house like super cool and like Ice Kingdomly, you know?
Yeah, it's so cool. Actually, the first thing that when we paused it, I was watching this with Allie. We paused it immediately, and what she pointed out was all the triangles everywhere. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, like what do you mean by that? But basically, she points out that triangles, like historically, and I probably am totally paraphrasing this terribly, but they're often associated with evil characters. Like with good characters or neutral characters, you have round shapes and squares, but triangles are often associated with evil. And I just thought that was really interesting. When you walk into the secret sanctum, triangles all over the place, the floor, the ceiling. I mean, things on the walls. I mean, it's just everywhere.
That's
you know?
cool.
And
I'm gonna start looking.
That was really cool.
I'm gonna start looking for that now more with in Adventure Time, because I know. How am I going to say this without spoiling? There is a point in the future where there's another ice powerful being, and when they come about, I remember a scene that does have kind of like triangle centric shapes in it. But I don't know if that's just like their way of describing ice, but I'm gonna start looking like evil characters like triangle related shapes. That's a good thought.
What is that? I mean, well, this is like the most obvious. What is that evil character from Gravity Falls? Bill Cipher.
Yeah.
It's just straight up a triangle. I mean, you know, like
that's like Illuminati-ish.
That's like way too obvious. But even the Illuminati, man, like that's all triangle shit. Like, whoa, that's my first curse on the podcast.
Oh, is it really? That's a bunch of triangle shit.
Wow, I'm sorry. Mom, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Wow.
Just
that's crazy. Boy. Sorry. Just the boy. I'm a bad dog living in a movie. No, Jake's not really a bad dog in this episode, I don't think. But man, let's hit our commercials.
We need a break.
I'm gonna go cry for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
All right. In a world where assassins wear bikinis and nobody knows how to swim, one bikini assassin must kill her opponent in beach volleyball. But don't touch that water because it's contaminated with pepper. And it all comes down to this: a ball, a net, and an assassination this Friday.
All right, Russell, I got one question for you.
Yeah.
And this is...
Ninjas are cool.
That was the first question. I actually did have that written down for you until you asked me at first. I wanted to know if you have the choice to be a normal ninja or an ice ninja, which would you do?
Well, what does normal ninja mean?
Like a ninja with a
on Earth?
Like on Earth, like a blade
like
and
a boring ninja.
But was it not boring ninjas?
Ninjas are so lame. Ice ninja, baby, give me powers.
I asked that because I was like, I watched all their weapons, like half of them break, and that's why I was like,
but weren't they made out of ice? They were all made out of ice.
You can make more, but it's kind of like,
oh, I see what you're saying.
Like you do only have a certain probably strength that it can go to, you know?
Yeah, but not having power sucks. And to be honest, like all the ninja powers, walking on water, catching an arrow, like all that stuff is like, it's magic tricks, you know? It's like them setting it up in a way to where it looks like they're more
magic. So you would take for sure powers over being like the world's best ninja.
I would be a samurai, baby.
Well,
Give me a samurai sword.
We can have a samurai episode down the road.
Swords are cool, just don't own one. Unless it has historical, like unless it's like a Japanese family's katana that they pass down forever, and for some reason you picked it up.
You just got a lot of people who do cosplay really mad at you.
Damn. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, y'all.
Sorry, guys.
Swords are cool. Swords are super cool. Love swords.
I am gonna have a lightsaber one day. Like,
like sure. A legit. Are you expecting us to have legit lightsaber technology one day?
That's how I'm carving my turkey in 2020 or 2022 right there when
the
when they
heat
release lightsabers.
from the lightsaber cooks it as you cut it. That's what's so great about it.
Oh yeah.
I definitely want. I'm gonna invest at some point, like probably $200 into like one of those really fancy, nice lightsabers.
Yeah. So we can't rip on people that have swords if we're talking about our lightsabers.
I can rip on
strategies.
Whoever I want on my podcast, Ned. Don't tell me who I can and can't.
You can
rip
have
on.
beef with whoever you want.
I'm beefing with too many people the past 2 weeks. Let's stop beefing with people. I love y'all,
dude. Lightsabers would end gun violence. You just said,
look at that solution.
Turn in your guns and you get a lightsaber. The lines will be it.
The lines will change.
Look, I would have see Luke Skywalker or Anakin or any who's the best lightsaber duelist? Is it Mace Windu? Because he's supposedly he's the most powerful with the lightsaber.
I feel like I just watched a TikTok about this.
I think it's Mace Windu.
I think it ends up being Anakin technically.
Okay. Well, let's take Anakin, put him on one side of the room, and then let's take someone with an AK on the other side of the room, and let's see Anakin block a fully automatic.
He would Neo the shit out of that. Just like stop the bullets.
It's so much faster to just pull a trigger, dude. It's like all those things where people are in the car and they're like, oh, if someone's got a gun to your head, you got to knock the hand to the side and turn it around on them and steal the gun. It's like, do you know how easy it is for that person to back up and just pull I don't know.
I know. There is got to be
I guess he could
YouTube or TikTok video out there probably breaking that down, like guns versus lightsabers if they're not lasers.
Well, I'm with you, man. Like I'm hating, I'm being devil's advocate. I do love lightsabers, and maybe they would end wars, or maybe if we created them, we would all just be like, okay, that's the pinnacle of humanity, and we all just need to like chill out.
We all need to just chill out at that point if we've progressed that far.
Yeah, I mean, it is an elegant weapon from a more civilized time.
Yes. All right. Well, I had one more deep thought on this one. We really talked a lot into it with the don't lose your moral code for the betterment of the greater good, but also in this one, they turned out to be right, but it was the matter of how presumptuous they were. That they were staking out the Ice Kingdom for 6 hours just to watch Ice King leave. And yes, he did come back with the princess.
Well, they had the diary entry too, where
they had but see, that's when you're not supposed to read someone's diary. And like, if Ice King hadn't done anything wrong, like at all, would they not feel bad to be like, yeah, we were so presumptuous
and
that
they did feel
evil.
Bad. They felt bad for a bit.
Well, Finn did. I don't think Jake felt remorse.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. I feel like there's a moment where both of them are animated, kind of like funny, kind of, backwards and smaller and more fragile because they're trying to show like how
they're like
sorry they are. Yeah, they're trying to like, be humble and be like, frick, our bad, Ice King. We broke your chair that you could honestly just create again because it's ice. But, at the same time, it does kind of suck. And they went through his Microsoft Paint pictures. And
actually, I had a funny, there was a list of all of the 8 folders.
Yeah, they're good.
The 8 folders on Ice King's computer are secrets, ROMs, miscellaneous, drawings, untitled folder, princesses, muscles, and Gunter stuff.
Gunter stuff. I need to know more about Gunter stuff.
I want to get into Gunter stuff tab for
I
sure.
I think that's where he's going to have all his notes on the deadly pressure points and all that stuff. I think that's where you find out a lot about Gunter and what's
Is it Ice
really
King's Gunter stuff, or is it like when Gunter logs on the computer?
It's like a kid folder.
It's like the kids folder stuff.
Yeah. It's like all clean and I don't know.
It's just like pinball and like Minecraft.
Yeah, dude. This we're not tangenting here, but did you ever have that like Beatles bug game back in the day? It was like one of those like learn as you play games.
I don't think so. No.
And there were like 4 Beatles, and they like had really terrible like Beatles accents.
I did not have this game at all.
There was some like really horrible, fun like plays you learn type games from back in our childhood that I'd never beat. I guess I wasn't very smart.
Carmen Sandiego back in the day. That was a big one. Freddy Fish, Pajama Sam.
Wow. You actually remember all this stuff.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't remember anything.
There was a peak like pre.com era of like hard drive, like a few. I think we had one or two that were actually on a floppy disk. Of like I don't even know the production studio. There was Putt Putt, which was a little golf cart that like had a puppy that rode around in the back. Freddy Fish and Pajama Sam, like all amazing games.
Cool. I love that. I played a lot of the like Centipede and or what is the whatever that one is where you're a little triangle and you spin around and shoot the meteors.
Asteroids.
Yeah. I played that a good bit. Galaga, but we just had that. It was just like what came with the, dial up computer or whatever. I don't think my dad's not a video game guy. I really doubt he spent any money to have that on the computer, but they were cool. And then what is it, Minesweeper or whatever?
Yeah, lots of Minesweeper.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, what a lame. Until the internet, man. Well, all you could do is play outside. It sucked.
Yeah.
Don't listen to millennials.
All you could do is go pretend to be ninjas outside.
Well, okay, it was pretty cool.
I miss the days, man.
Yeah, I do too.
I miss the days. Well, I don't have any more notes. We talked about our Jake mistakes. We talked about our tops of the episode. We broke down Dr. Princess.
Ratata. We got to talk about Ratata a little bit, baby.
I know. Well, I think she's more of a traveling doctor because we'll see her again, and she's in the Candy Kingdom. So I imagine that she's kind of.
We do see her again.
Yeah,
I'm happy
Dr. Princess
about that.
Comes back.
I need to know more about her specialization in treating little tuxedo people.
And treating little tuxedo people.
Oh gosh, she's weird. She's down to earth. She's like cool. She kind of gets it. She's like, I don't really know what I'm looking at here, but also she's not surprised by it. It's like, yeah, we get like it's a magical world and people are crazy. Like half my patients are rocks.
Yeah.
And even gosh, that whole scene's pretty fun. It's like when they all, or what is it? Ice King goes in and he freezes the first two, and then the third rock is just like, yo, yeah, get in front of me. It's all good. And then he's like, what is Ice King? I think he says something like, I was, and he just freezes him anyway. It's just like it's good.
Apparently,
it's really good.
The writers got some shit for that scene because they're like, "Oh, you copied Despicable Me," when he's like walking in the line with the ice gun. And the writers were like, "No, that was totally unintentional."
Well, the other thing was great. The dude behind the counter is just like patient or cadaver.
Patient or cadaver.
Those are your two choices. And then Ice King like flirts and like, so when do you get off? And it reminded me a little bit of like Joey from Friends. It's kind of that like, oh, we're having a serious conversation and whatever, and then that last little tidbit of just like, let me flirt with you, like, so how you doing? Like, I don't know. I'm Ice King. I still don't know how I feel about you, bud.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Well, I had one Ice King mistake. We're not going to make this a repeated segment, but it just struck me as odd at the end of the episode when he knows he kidnapped Dr. Princess.
Yeah.
And he's got Dr. Princess in the duffel bag, and he's like, hey,
take this over there.
Take this over there. And then he's like, wait. I was like, dude.
Doesn't he say to put it in the cellar too or something like that? I can't, or not the cellar, the jail or something.
Yeah, I think he said put it over by the jail or in the jail.
Yeah.
But I was like, you could, he would have gotten away with that one.
He would have.
If he had just put it aside himself, he probably would have gotten away with it. It was weird.
I think he would have. Dude, what do you think of that ending?
I had a question about the ending. It was like, Gunter, what does he say? He says like, you should have told me.
Yeah.
And then that's it. After the space cat is born or whatever.
Yeah, and then he gets kicked in the face and in the side by Finn and Jake.
Yeah.
And then it does a very classic like kung fu.
Yeah, the kung fu
freeze
ending.
Frame. Yeah.
Which was similar to
so cool.
the intro too, which was cool.
Yeah.
But no, you should have told me what though? Like what should
that he was a woman. But that he goes
but it wasn't about the egg.
You're right,
it was about the fact that it was a space cat.
That it wasn't penguin. Yeah, I guess it was like, who are you with?
Well, the writers originally did have an intention to have it be a weird Ice King penguin hybrid baby.
Thank goodness they didn't do that.
No, Cartoon Network shut that down real quick. But they were like, oh, wouldn't that be like kind of grotesque and funny? And like, and they were like, no, okay, we're not that grotesque,
Yeah.
But that's why I was wondering. And then what would Gunter tell Ice King? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
I
think it was like
this was an alien baby.
This is my mate.
Like,
well, who got Gunter pregnant?
I don't know.
That's the real question.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know. I just love when he tosses. He's like, Gunter's a woman?
And he
What?
looks
No, and
and
throws
just
him.
throws him.
Him and the egg. Oh gosh. Yeah.
I don't know.
And
It's
then
good.
Gunter like cuddles up with the egg. He's so cute.
I know. Great episode.
So
When we do
so
our
good.
season breakdowns, I feel like this is going to be up there for tops episodes of the season.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Hard to talk about, but such a good episode to watch. Ned, it's been quite a few episodes since NEA, our episode 9, the Boom Boom Mountain,
Mhm.
when we brought up Nindos. You've had time. What's your Nindo? You
You
didn't
gotta
really
ref-
have a good answer.
You got to
for that.
refresh my memory again.
It's your ninja way, man. It's Naruto's is I'm not gonna run away. I'm never gonna go back on my word. That's my Nindo, my ninja way. And I think mine was to be the best there ever, or like no one ever was. You know, like I'm just trying to be a Pokemon trainer.
I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to come up with something that's like snappy right
No,
now.
it's okay.
Study in the shadows,
Oh,
strike in the light.
striking the light.
I don't know. Something like that.
Okay, that's a good Nindo.
You stay secret, get really powerful, but don't be sneaky. Don't kill people. Like if you're in a
That's
you're in a
aggressive.
front with somebody, do it in public. I don't know.
Okay,
I don't
so
know,
your
I'm-
Nindo is just aggressive, and you know you're just trying to be a
No.
ninja.
If you have
Cool.
if you're gonna defeat the evil, you got to study and train
Oh, I like it.
secret so they don't know about
Yeah.
you being super strong. But then don't go and like ransack and be like challenge you
Yeah.
at the gate, come and fight
Teddy
me.
Roosevelt
Yeah.
walk softly with a big stick.
Yes,
or
speak
whatever.
softly, carry a big stick.
Yes, cool. I dig it.
Yeah.
Oh, Teddy,
What
What
a TR, baby.
what a president! Got shot while giving a speech and finished the speech. How crazy is that?
That's wild.
Nowadays,
maybe.
it's like a president gets a shoe thrown at him, and Secret Service is just like, "I'm
All
shutting
right,
down."
Mr. Politics over here.
I know. Well, I don't even. Honest, to be entirely honest, I can't remember what president that was.
That was Georgie boy.
Oh heck yes! Here's the thing, man. All right, we're not gonna get into politics, but George has an interesting charisma thing. Obama had it too. You know, like I don't know. There's
I'm not
just-
ready to have. We can have a whole
It's
separate
not even.
podcast.
We're
for
not
this.
even talking politics. I just think it's so interesting how presidents like market or brand themselves with like a way. I don't know. Are they just like that? I don't know. It seems like they're putting it on a little bit. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You're not wrong, but
Anyway,
I don't know. I don't have energy to talk politics.
I don't
or
either. It's too early.
political figures.
We're recording like this is one of the earlier episodes we've ever recorded here in Nashville, and
Mhm.
you know, like we talked about, I guess was it last episode? This is going to be one of the last episodes recorded in Nashville by both of us. Potentially.
Yeah, I think we definitely have a few more left for sure.
Yeah, we'll see how much time.
Yeah, we get some
I feel
time.
like that. Me and my girlfriend were talking about it over the break. We're like, yeah, I think they're trying to sell a house and blah blah blah. And then you texted me and you were like, yeah, we already got an offer. I was like, what?
It happened so quick, man.
It happened. Yeah, too
It
fast.
happened in 6.5 days.
Too fast, Ned. That's crazy. It makes me jealous that I didn't buy a house. But to be honest, you don't make a lot of money when you're starting out in the music industry. So,
Yeah.
or when you're
Brutal.
starting out with a podcast.
Or when you're maybe when we get to episode 100, we'll be sitting in those 6-figure ranges, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, rock,
My
rock,
my lesson real fast is wear your ninja on your sleeve.
rock.
Just embrace your weird, which I think is kind of a lesson that I sort of phrase in different ways often, but it was just made so much sense for this episode to wear your ninja on your sleeve. So I could not use it again.
Yeah.
Um,
No, that's a better lesson than the two that I kind of pulled out, because I had don't wear your ninja on your sleeve, but I didn't dig deep into that, and I like that.
yeah, it's simple. But anyways, y'all, another great episode. Heck yeah.
We did it.
We did it. 2 in a row with both of us.
Skibbity-boo-bop.
Let's keep going as long as we can. But also, you know, for what it's worth. Yeah, I'd say that, but I really enjoyed the episodes with guests, and DJ Cowboy Hat crushed it with so many. Was it 2 or 3? I can't even remember now. Was it
It's
3
two.
episodes?
He had one
2?
with me and then one with you.
Gosh, heck yeah. Yeah, it was fun sitting down with you and us talking for like the first time about Adventure Time without Ned. It was weird though. We did get a comment, you know, kind of talking about like, don't you know about blah blah blah? And I was like, well, you know, it is kind of two people that don't know Adventure Time talking.
Yeah, I felt very much like the kid who didn't know anything in the new class. Like, just we're here, we're trying to learn, but we're not going to be able to teach you anything.
I know. Well, that's the thing. Like, we just want to do the show justice, and it is a lot easier when you got DJ Nettie P with the factoids and the deep love.
Yeah, expert. I'm actually planning on trying to like kind of binge through the show a little bit more now.
Ahead,
Just in case I'm like only remembering certain things, or there's like a specific half season that I like need to like refresh myself on, and I'll probably pick up on some more stuff.
I think that's a great idea. I think doing that and taking some notes and just like having it in the back of your head just so you're like fully aware of the show. I mean, whatever. But you do a great job as you are. But
yeah, a lot of the stuff now in season 2 is pretty obvious when it's like canonical. And I think when we start going forward, there's some stuff where it's a really, really important part of the canon or something, and it relates to some sort of odd side story. And so
it's gonna be
I want to make sure I remember all those episodes. Yeah.
It's going to be hard to keep up with everything that's happened in the past, especially me watching everything for the first time and trying to think back to like, oh, this is a reference to that one time when this happened. Like, it's fine when you have 2 seasons and, we're not even halfway through the second season, but once you get deeper and deeper, it's going to be really difficult to, I mean, we're going to do our best.
Hundreds of hours of podcast content done, and we'd be only on like season 4,
Yeah, dude, we're gonna crush it. It's gonna be great. I'm pumped to keep going and keep moving forward. We haven't really discussed what our halfway through the season special episode's gonna be, but I think we'll start looking into that pretty soon here.
Yeah, we're gonna have about 3-ish more normal episodes, and then get a little good season half break for you guys.
Yeah.
If you have suggestions, please email them to us. We would love to figure out. We've talked about Scott Pilgrim. We've talked about something else too. I don't know if we want to keep it cartooned or not.
It doesn't have to be. I think they never do quite as well as our normal episodes do.
No, not really.
But it's a good break for us. And honestly, there's a dream of mine to at some point, though this podcast and your journeys keep going, the show does have a limit to it, and we don't. If things are going well and we're really enjoying it and we got a group of followers, like maybe we'll figure out a way to keep it going and do something. And, like I love Avatar. Like I think that would be something that people might be into that maybe talk about one day, but I don't know. I think as we go deeper into Adventure Time, we get a lot of time to think about that and see how this podcast goes. But, in the meantime, it is an Adventure Time podcast, and you can email us, like Ned said, at nea.travelerslog@gmail.com. You can hit us up on Insta at Never Ending Adventure Podcast, TikTok at Never Ending Adventure Cast, Twitter at NEA_podcast, baby. Hit us up, do reviews. It helps. I promise it really does help. Like,
yes, significantly.
Write something. Yeah, man. Like,
share us, stitch us, duet us.
Oh, shoot.
I don't know. Do all the shares.
And a little bit here, I'm going to be looking into something. There might be like we'll have like a little thing going on where like if you share the podcast, maybe.
Yeah, we haven't even thought about
maybe we'll get a sticker.
Giveaways yet. Yeah, giveaways is a good idea.
We're working on stickers. We'll have them. I just haven't bought them yet.
We'll get some swag for you guys soon.
Oh, man. Yeah, maybe we could do something where it's like what is that called? Where it's when someone buys it, the company like print on demand. Something like that could be pretty cool. But anyways, y'all, thank you so much. I got just one last thing for you. Party forever.
Love the you guys.